Hello, it's Charles Fockaert, October 30, 2018. Welcome. Thank you for supporting this channel. I want to talk about a lot of things here, and they're all related to the Esau Edomites, I think. I want to first mention, why you should listen to this channel is because we go all the way to the top rung of the ladder of truth. And I don't hold anything back. I'm not worried about losing my income. I'm not worried about having a lot of viewers and followers, and therefore I get money off of YouTube. But I will say this. I have a channel. I don't want to say what it is, but I went over there. I have another channel that I started when I was in Korea, and I have a video on there that got 20,000 views. And back in Korean time, I kind of forgot about it, and I didn't set it up to take advertising. But I got 20,000 views over there. But that makes me suspicious because this channel's been up for quite a while, and I have a lot of videos out there that have been up there for several years with very few views. And I can't help but think there's something going on there, but I can't prove it. But let's move on. Back, you can check this. I have the videos on this channel. You can check this. I said that now was the time, January this year, now was the time, or I asked it in the form of a question, is now the time to short Facebook? That was a little bit early. But with puts, and I mentioned puts, you could sell a put high and then buy it back low. Very safe way to play the markets. I have never bought a stock. I never will. But if you would have followed that, my observation, you could have made a lot of money off of the fall in the price of Facebook, and it's not over yet. I also said, not a month ago, I said I didn't ask it as a question. I said now is the time to short Amazon, and Amazon is falling like a rock. I haven't bought anything from Amazon since they banned or they took my book off of their quote platform, and as did Lulu. See, you can survive without supporting these people, and I've done just that. So I'm very happy to see Bezos lost 19 billion, and for him that's a drop in the bucket. People, these people have so much money, it's beyond our comprehension. Let's move on. I was at the park here, the Lake Havasu Park, Lake Havasu City. There's a park on the south end of town, and they were spraying. I got there early in the morning, and they were spraying everywhere. And all these people out there jogging around, and every car that's in the parking lot, almost without exception, was brand new or a couple years old. And they're all nice and shiny and all washed, and everybody's driving around in their new Hondas and their new Jeeps and their new this and their new that. And that's because the interest rate on the trucks and cars were so low. A lot of these people took on the debt. But this is a very affluent Lake Havasu City, a retiree community. And I tell you what, it's a hard time just sitting down there watching all these people, jogging around. And they have no idea what's going on up there. And if you were to point it out, I used to point it out, hey, we're being sprayed. I don't even do that anymore. They're all trying to lose weight so they can stay healthy, and then we're being sprayed overhead, and they breathe all that stuff in. I don't even attempt to explain it. And the point I want to make here is that most people, the average schmo, doesn't have a clue. They don't have a clue as to what's going on around them. I've been saying this the whole time I've been on this channel. They live in an illusionary world. Illusionary world. Nothing that they think, that they believe is real. And the fake news doesn't even go anywhere near what these people believe in. You know, you know what all the Jewish fables, and they're Judeo-Christians, and you can't even talk to them. I don't even try anymore. And it's hard to be in the city. I can't even hardly handle it. But I want to stay here as long as I can before I head out. Out in the boonies. I'm going to boondock out there. So just keep in mind that the average Joe, the average person, especially the older they get, they go on the internet and they only watch CNN, NBC, Fox News, and all the rest of them. It's getting better. People are waking up, but so few of us are willing to go all the way to the top rung of the ladder of truth that they still don't know who's behind it. And so let's move on to the Pittsburgh false flag op. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, the Pittsburgh, quote, shooting was a false flag op. It's not what we've been told. There's too many anomalies. They never show anybody. They told all the people in the neighborhood, go back in the house, go back inside. We don't want you taking videos. We don't want you to see what we're doing here. Just go back in the house. There was a local newscaster there doing a report, and it was mentioned that they thought this was a drill, and they actually called the police and asked them if this was a drill. Apparently there was a drill in that neighborhood or close by not too long ago. It's a false flag. The Esau Edomites as victims. The Esau Edomites are poor old Esau Edomites. And I want to talk about the platforms, the YouTubes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the rest of them. They tell us that they're a private entity, and they're not. They're a corporation. Corporation is a creation of the state. They only exist because the state allows them to exist, and they sell their shares in the public marketplace. And I don't want to go too far into that, but they have no legal right. And I don't know why there isn't class action lawsuits being placed against these, the big corporations. There are some private lawsuits going on. I think Prager University there in the Bay Area and a few others. And some guy just won a $3.2 million lawsuit against either Google or somebody. So there's going to be more. But why isn't there a class action lawsuit against these big corporations? They tell us that you can't have free speech on our platform, so why don't you go, if you don't like it, why don't you go create your own platform, which is what we did with GAB. And then when people go to GAB because they can't be on Twitter and they can't be on other Esau Edomite controlled quote platforms for social media expression protected, we have an inalienable right. Our Constitution only protects our inalienable right. The government can't take away our God-given inalienable right. Inalienable means it cannot be taken away. Nobody can take away our right to speak and to associate freedom of assembly, which is what we were doing on these platforms. And then they tell us you can't do that here. So then when we go, and this fellow Avro or whoever it is sets up another platform, GAB, and somebody goes on there, apparently, allegedly. See, there's no proof that this guy even did what he said we're told he did. When we go on there and we speak our mind and we share what we know and we express ourselves, we use our inalienable right to speak, they say you can't do that. So now they're trying to shut down the platforms that allow you to share and speak and to be around or to associate with other like-minded individuals. So they want it both ways. And that's not going to work out in the long run because we're too smart for them. See, everybody thinks the Esau Edomites are so clever. No, they get to produce, we allow them to produce money to create fiat currency out of thin air, and then they hand it out to all their buddies, the Zuckerbergs, who stole the idea of Facebook from two of our race, and then he goes to Goldman Sachs and they do the IPO, and he gets all million. Amazon did the same thing. Amazon had loans from his Esau Edomite buddies there at the banking system that allowed him to roll over those loans even though he wasn't making any money for all those years. I was a goy in real estate development. I got 2 years. My line of credit was needed to be rolled over. I paid down my debt to within 1/2 of 1% out of $1.3 million. And what did they do? They cut me off. We're not gonna renew your line of credit. Amazon Bezos was able to renew his line of credit, and now his model, his economic model, his way of doing business isn't working, and it's going down, and thank Yahweh for that. So there's a lot going on, and don't be fooled by Trump. This Pittsburgh thing was a diversion. A lot of this, the bomb thing was a diversion. Those bombs were fake. It's all a diversion. That's what they do. We're in a war, folks. We're in a war, and there's smoke and bombs and going off over here, but the real action is over here. So don't get snookered. The real action is in facial recognition. They're going to keep us. They're going to control us. If, you can't speak on GAB, you can't speak on your platforms, and you're not going to be able to fly on the airplanes. You're not going to be able to take a bus. You're not going to be able to take a train. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things, and they're going to know where you are. With 5G, we got the facial recognition. We got the 5G, both being pushed by Trump. See? He's over there. He's a showman. He's there to keep the snooker Judeo-Christians that the Esau Edomites are God's chosen and we can't touch them. Anti-Semite and all the rest of that male cow dung. We can't talk about them. We can't criticize them. They can slaughter the Palestinians, that's fine, but when somebody allegedly goes into one of their places and does what we've been told he did, and I don't think that happened, we're supposed to be, oh my God, the world's coming to an end because somebody did what they did there in Pittsburgh. It's all a diversion. The real problem is facial recognition, 5G. They're also going. I read this morning that Trump's going to put up tents on this side of the border, and he's going to let them in the tents. Why even let them in the country? Folks, we're going to wait and see what happens. But if he lets them in the country, then he gives you a little bit of a crumb. No more automatic citizenship for those born here of illegal parents that are born in this country. That should have been if I was in president, I would have done that on the first day. I would have worked 24 hours on the first day. Boom, 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 boom. Troops home, on the border, enforce the immigration laws, take some of this $800 billion, put it into border control. We could have stopped these people from even thinking about it. I remember there used to put up these signs when they didn't want you to park there. It would say, "Don't even think about parking here." See, these people, they know they're going to get in. I'm willing to bet that they're going to get in. I hope I'm wrong, and I'll admit it if I'm wrong. Nothing wrong with being wrong, folks. But I think they're going to get in, and then a lot of them are going to get to stay. And what's to stop our enemy from supplying these young men with weapons and ammunition to come after us? What's going to stop them from doing that? I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. And may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, the God of the Israelites who were not Jewish, may His grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See ya.